Under lock and key in Kogi State. Some of the school children have now taken to hawking on the streets. They are kept outside their learning environment because of the disagreement between the teachers and the state government. All the teachers want is an implementation of the new national minimum wage.
Today, the Nigerian Union of Teachers have entered into a painstaking agreement with the state government on the ongoing basic education teachers strike to press home our demands for 18,000 minimum wage in accordance with the Minimum Wage Act of 2011 being enjoyed by other workers in the state for the past 2 years, and the actualization of 27.5% teachers' petroleum allowance.
But this is not going down well with the teachers.
Normally when we go on strike, before we come back, Congress is called. And we look into the matter and accept. We are not against him. He's the one representing us. We have chosen him. But he has to work with us. He has to come back to us and tell us, this is the agreement. Then if we see anything we should correct, we have to tell him to correct it and go back to them.
On May Day this year, primary school teachers in the state, through their spokesman, said there was nothing to celebrate as salaries and allowances of the teachers were yet to be paid.
And the NLC chairman is not helping the issue. Why I say this is that he's supposed to, for instance, in our song, we say the union make us strong. We have a feeble strength, but the union together make us. But the NLC chairman has not taken it as part of his responsibility to help the arm of the NLC. And if you look critically, NUT has the largest population in NLC. NUT has the largest financial contribution to NLC. But up till date, they are satisfied with our own suffering. And that is why they have never seen it as part of their duty to help us talk to the government.
The call for downsizing of teachers becomes an aberration and totally unacceptable to the Nigerian Union of Teachers Kogi State. What we are agreeing with today is the bitter pill of effecting 60% of minimum wage with effect from September 2013. And a progression of the balance of 40% beginning from October 2013 to terminate in March 2014. On my honor, as the present chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers Kogi State, I wish to state that if by December 2013 there is no significant change in the salary of teachers, I shall vacate the office of the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers Kogi State at the end of December 2013.
Meanwhile, about 10,000 ghost workers have been revealed in the last verification carried out by the state government.
Why created us as one of the examination malpractice state? And I am calling on the government that we should do everything to arrest this situation. If you know, in the last 5 months, our children in primary school have not gone to school or secondary school. We need to revive it. Somebody out of 12 months in a year, for someone to be at home for 5 months without being taken care of. We are now calling on the government, and everybody in this state that we should do everything possible to resuscitate the declining situation of education in this state.
Fundamental issues that are evolving in the system approaches, and the system is redeeming by way of management approaches to ensure that things are straightened for effective service delivery.
It is yet to be seen how long more these children would be locked out of the academic environment.
Meanwhile, a new educational model has taken off in the southwest state of Osun, incorporating public primary and secondary schools. In the new dispensation, schools have been reclassified into 3 broad categories: the elementary, middle and high schools. Tonight, our community reports, our correspondent Charles Aruka examines the initial challenges of the Osun schools reclassification.
Etisala, now you're talking.
It's resumption day for primary and secondary schools in the southwestern state of Osun, except that they are no longer referred to by those terms. First sign that something has changed is that everywhere the uniforms are practically the same, regardless of which school. Public school, that is. What has happened is called reclassification.
We have the elementary school, which consists of grades 1 to 4 pupils. That's pupils from ages 6 to 9. Then we have the middle school, which consists of grades 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Pupils who spend 5 years in that class. And then we have the high school, which will be grades 10, 11, and 12.
It is our own way of repositioning education in the state. We just decided to put children that are of the same age bracket in the same class so that we can effectively deploy the scarce resources of the state effectively for learning and teaching.
There are also new infrastructure in different stages of development to accommodate the new educational model. This is the Salvation Army Middle School, Osogbo, the capital of the state of Osun. It is indeed the first of the model schools, the new model schools of the states that's been completed and is ready for commissioning. Now the school has about 32 classrooms, and there's also a school hall, a library, a laboratory, and administrative offices. But the revolution in education is being trailed by a bit of confusion occasioned by the relocation of students from one school to another. The consequence is that students are migrating, some carrying their furniture.
Schools there, Johnson.
The principal of Osogbo Grammar School has her hands full and will practically have to chase her around.
The government must not see us, see the students roaming about, and we have to get them settled. And if you are not there, these teachers may not know what to do, because almost all the teachers are new.
The deputy governor, who is also the commissioner of education, has to rush over to the Baptist Girls High School, Osogbo, to deal with the peculiar situation. Boys have been relocated to an all-girls school.
In this new dispensation, we don't have boys' school or girls' school again. All schools are mixed schools. So students from another secondary school, Faculty Comprehensive High School, have been asked to come here as the new Baptist High School now. But the mission, who claim to be the owner of the school, do not seem to hide that idea. They want the status quo to remain that this must be a girls' school.
The Baptist mission in particular had dialogue with the governor, and we took trouble to explain to them the reason why we are doing. If we met the mission schools in the condition that is acceptable to us, we would have probably left them.
The Baptist Mission, former owners of the school and major stakeholders, are also up in arms against what they perceive as an abomination.
If at all the government needs to do any reshufflement, there are other schools, there are lands they can build and do it. So if it's only girls' students they brought here to retain that heritage. And even that was even in the government something.
As for the students, they are kind of confused about their present status.
I don't know what they are calling it for now. High school. They are just calling it high school.
Yes. They have not given our class title.
I think maybe high school 3.
In the midst of it all, Governor Ralph Aregbesola launches the project with the inauguration of a brand new Salvation Army Middle School. Dressed like one of the students, he also takes the inaugural lesson.
Of seniors than effective rulers. They have no direct impact anymore on the administration of their people.
Among the parents, the school's reclassification is received with mixed feelings.
The education system they are introduced for Osun State is one of the things we are eager for.
Changing about brings confusion to the character of such a life.
I introduce a course which called IFA into our education system in Osun State, which means in every home in Osun State we produce Babalawo in the next 1 year.
When we politicize all things, it is not the best for our children. We don't need to politicize education because our children will be at the receiving end.
For now, several of the children are still out on the streets trying to understand their new circumstances, trying to come to terms with the new terminologies of their new classrooms. As for the critics of the new model of education in the state of Osun, they may just keep their fingers crossed and wait to see whether it is going to work or not. As new buildings are being put up, as new structures are being erected, and as students are being moved from one place to another to suit the convenience of the new system, one way or the other, they still have to go